Welcome back. Section 2-3. Solve a formula for a specific variable. Learning objectives. By the end of this section, you'll be able to solve a formula for a specific variable. This is the part that we are interested in. Use formulas to solve geometry applications. Okay. We have all probably worked with some geometric formulas in our study of mathematics. Formulas are used in so many fields. It is important to recognize formulas and be able to manipulate them easily. It is often helpful to solve a formula for a specific variable. If you need to put a formula in a spreadsheet, it is not unusual to have to solve it for specific variable first. Alright, geometric formulas often need to be solved in another variable too. For example, v equals 1/3 pi r squared h is used to find the volume of a right circular cone with given radius and base height. Alright, so here is an example of a formula which includes many variables. That's a variable, that's a variable, that's a variable. So here is a question. You take that formula, solve for h, that's h is sitting over here. Okay, so first solve the formula. V equals 1/3 pi r squared h. You want to solve this formula for h. In other words, you want to isolate h. What is helpful is if you write the formula where you need the variable first. Alright, so this is equal to v. All I did was took the right hand side, wrote here, took the left hand side, wrote here. So flipped the equation. I have a denominator. What do we normally do? Get rid of the denominator. How do we get rid of the denominator? Multiply both sides by 3. Okay, so 3 times 1/3 pi r squared h equals 3 times v. Okay, the point of multiplication is that the denominator gets cancelled. This cancels this. All you are left with is pi r squared h on the left hand side. And 3 times v is nothing but 3v. Remember, the goal is to solve for h. So you want to get rid of pi, you want to get rid of r to the second power. All these guys are multiplying h. So how about divide both sides by pi r squared h. Pi r squared, the quantity that's multiplying h. In other words, consider the fraction, that's the left hand side, and divide by pi r squared. Whatever you do to the left hand side, you must do to the right hand side. Okay, so this cancels this. You're left with h equals 3v over pi r squared. And that's it. We have solved for h. That's it. In other words, you solve for one variable pretending the other variables are just numbers. Rules of solving continue to be the same. Let's try one more example. Okay, solve for b using this formula. Okay, so this is 2.55. Use the formula A equals 1 over 2 BH. So use the formula this to solve for B. So B is over here. You want to solve for B. In other words, isolate B. So what do? I'll take that part and write it on the left. So I simply flipped my formula around so that I have B on the left. I have a denominator. How do you get rid of denominator? Multiply both sides. Okay, so 2 times half BH equals 2 times A. The point of multiplication by 2 is to cancel these two. So you have BH equals 2A. I want to solve for B. How do I get rid of H? Look at what H is doing. H is multiplying B. So divide both sides by H. Sorry. Divide both sides by H. So H is cancelled. You are left with B equals 2A over H. We have solved for B. That's it. Okay. Similar. Use the same formula. Solve for H. Sure, why not? Okay. All right. What do? You start with the part which has H. Make sure that's on the left. Now, get rid of the 2 because it's in the denominator. Multiply both sides by 2. That fetches me 2 times half BH equals 2 times A. The point of multiplying by the denominator is that it would cancel the denominator. You are left with BH equals 2A. Goal is to solve for H. I need to get rid of B. What is B doing? It's multiplying. So opposite of multiplication is division. Divide both sides by B. So fraction BH over B equals fraction 2A over B. Okay. BH over B cancels the B's and you are left with H equals 2A over B, and that's your solution. We have solved for H. All right. Here is another. Take this formula. This is conversion from formula from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So you want to solve for F given this formula. Okay. So this is example 2.29. You want to solve this formula for f. All right. Because f is over here, I will rewrite the formula with that part first, the part containing f first, and then equal to c. All I have done is flipped this formula around, which is okay. So notice I have a 9 here. I want to get rid of the 9. Because it's the denominator, multiply both sides by 9. 9 times my expression equals 9 times c. The 9's cancel. We are left with 5f minus 32 equals 9c. Goal is to solve for f. I can multiply by f. Multiply by 5. 5f minus 5 times 32. It is 160 equals 9c. Goal is to solve for f. Get rid of minus 160. Add 160 to both sides. These two cancel. You are left with 5f equals 9c plus 160. To solve for f, I need to divide both sides by 5. Oh, I forgot to write down what I was doing here, right? So multiply both sides by 9. Distribute the 5. And what did we do here? Add 160 to both sides. Okay. Now, you want to solve for 5f, so you're dividing by 5. Notice you have to divide both sides by 5. What does that mean? You're looking for the fraction 5f over 5 equals the fraction. All of this is on the top. That's the point. 9c plus 160 over 5. So notice it's both sides. It helps if you think of a side as within parenthesis, then you know that it is one entire quantity. Okay? So 5's get cancelled. F equals all of this, and we have solved for f. All right, let's continue in our next video.